Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Corona Spotlight 2020. My name is Gail Nicholson. I am your host, and I am very, very happy to be back again for one more week before the end of April. And we might be doing some pretty big stuff coming up soon. So watch this space because there's going to be some changes coming along in May, I do believe. All right. So my guest today is Lorena Tomasini. She is a medical and life insurance specialist, and she's here to answer some of the questions that are coming up with COVID-19 and how that's being handled by the insurance companies with, companies sending people off, laying people off and stuff like that. So, without getting into the confusion of it all, let me just bring Lorena on here and have her clear everything up for us. Thank you so much. Hi, Lorena. How you doing?
Hi, Gail. I'm doing very good, and you?
Very good, thank you. Thanks for being here today.
Yeah, I'm excited to share this information that I'm sure will hopefully help clear up a lot of confusion out there.
I hope so too. I hope so too. Because there's a lot of confusion about it. At the very beginning, we heard, that if it's COVID-19, everything's being covered. And then I was talking with some other people that I used to work with that are in insurance agencies and stuff like that. And there was a time period where they're like, "Oh my gosh, is everybody going to get cut off of their insurance? Maybe not, maybe so." So we're looking to you to answer all of these tough questions for us today.
Awesome. Let's do that.
Awesome. So here's a big one: are the health insurance companies covering treatment for COVID-19?
Yeah. So before getting started, I just want to preface this with this is general information, and reach out to your insurance company to know exactly how they're covering. But in general, they have sent out emails, and this applies to all types of policies. So whether you have it through the marketplace or ACA, through your employer, or if you have Medicare, they are saying that they are covering treatment and waiving any copays for things like lab work, exams, if you need to do like an MRI, right? All of that stuff is going to be waived. So yeah, that's at least some peace of mind for people that do have health insurance. Like everything, it is important to make sure that you're going, where your doctor accepts it and things like that. Don't just go anywhere. So that's why I always say before doing anything, call your company, so that way you can make a more informed decision.
Excellent. Yeah, and that is something that I want to make sure that we highlight to people. Follow your normal plan processes. If your normal general practitioner, your normal in-network thing, it's crazy and chaotic enough right now without confusing everything by going to an out-of-network whatever, right?
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. Because always when you go out of network, there's additional costs with that, right? But the good thing is, let's say somebody would normally have to pay, I don't know, $20 for their lab work. If it's because of COVID that they're doing this lab work, it's going to be waived. So,
Now, is
you know,
that so even if after the testing they find out it's not COVID?
well, yeah, I mean, you have to go get the test because you want to know if you have COVID, right? Because you have symptoms. It's not just saying, oh, I want to go get tested. Like, you need to be showing symptoms and things like that. That's different than we have here in Florida, which is where I am. Um, like drive-throughs that people can go to, right? And that type of stuff is supposedly being covered by the government, right?
Okay.
So that's different. Mhm.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Now, what if you're not insured currently?
Yeah, that's a good question. So there is a rumor going on that, the government was going to cover a lot of these costs. But what people don't realize is that, if something costs $30,000 to go get treated for COVID at a hospital, let's say, maybe the government, based on what they're saying, they might cover some of that. But that doesn't include the cost for the doctor, if you needed anesthesia, if you needed x-rays, all those additional things, and you don't have insurance, that will come out of your own pocket. which is why it's important to have health insurance, because what that does is at the end of the day, it really protects your pocket. Um, so that you have like a maximum out of pocket that you know you won't spend more than that a year for medical services, you know? Right now, yeah, it's a little bit tough for people without health insurance. Definitely go to like those drive-through places that I mentioned earlier, and you can do that. The other thing they can do is telemedicine, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit later. But you know, you can buy those plans pretty much anywhere online,
Mm-hmm.
um, and that way you can speak to a doctor over your phone, right, through like video chat or over the phone,
Mm-hmm.
and it might be more affordable, right, than
Right.
going directly.
And it's certainly more convenient as well. We were just exploring the beginnings of. I used to work for a company that worked in workers' comp when we were
Mm-hmm.
just getting exposed to the beginnings of telemedicine and having injured employees
Yeah.
evaluated, and
Mm-hmm.
it looks very promising and it looks very convenient.
Yeah, it does. It does, especially now that with social distancing, you know, it's not like you can just go to your doctor as you would previously, right?
Hmm.
So this is definitely a good way of doing that. Hmm.
Awesome, awesome. Now, what are the options if you had insurance through your job, and then your company is not able to continue having you work, and you're out of work now? It's been over 30 days now that we've been. In fact, it's been what, 57 days technically.
Around
50
there.
or yeah, almost 2 months technically. So now we're starting to get to the point where are the insurance companies going to start dropping people, or are they going to put something in place so that companies affected by this government shutdown
Hmm.
have a little extra hope?
Yeah, so there's a few things. A lot of companies are giving like a 30-day additional grace period for people that maybe are having some financial difficulties in making payments, right? Again, call your company, make sure what their policy is, right? To get that information. But as far as somebody that's been laid off and they also lost health insurance, that person now has a special enrollment to get health insurance through the marketplace.
Hmm.
You do have 60 days from when that happens. So let's say you lost health coverage March 31st. You have 60 days from when that happens, to see if you're eligible for a plan through the marketplace, right? Or if you know that you're going to lose coverage in the next 60 days. So if I know I'm going to lose coverage at the end of April, well, you have technically have two special enrollments there. The one that you're going to lose in 60 days, and then if it's past the 30th of April, then you still have 60 days from when that happens, right? So that way, you know, you don't lose the health coverage. But that is important, like to call a broker, like I'm a broker, and that's what I do. I provide people with quotes,
Hmm.
right, about their health insurance, because it's not only based on that you have a special enrollment, but there's other qualifications such as income and things like that, in order to qualify for the subsidies. That's really important.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, are there other changes with regard to life insurance?
That's a very good question. Right now, we haven't really seen much changes. There has been some good changes as far as, for people that maybe didn't like getting blood work to get life insurance, right? A lot of companies have increased the death benefit that you can do without needing medical exam. Okay, so
Hmm.
some companies you can get up to 1 million in coverage, without needing to do the blood work, and you can still qualify for like those rates that are better than standard if medically you qualify for that. So what this does is it makes it easier and quicker for you to get life insurance, you know. There has been other changes though. Some companies have said that they won't issue policies for people older than 75.
Hmm.
And here in Florida, for example, some companies are up to age 80 or up to age 85 that you can still get life insurance, right? But now we're seeing that they're putting caps on that, as far as ages, right?
Hmm.
Um, but that's pretty much it. You know, as far as underwriting and things like that, we haven't seen any changes yet. right? Things could change daily. Especially with somebody that already has COVID, that's going to make it hard to get insurance. Like
Yeah.
somebody that's in the hospital with some type of illness, it's going to be hard to get life insurance, right? Once
Right.
that happens.
Well, specifically though, if somebody's diagnosed with COVID-19, even though the survival rate is pretty good, I mean,
Hmm.
when we're
Hmm.
talking about mass amounts of millions of people getting infected,
Right.
1.5% non-survival is heinous numbers, right?
Right.
But it's still, your chances of surviving it is still 98%. So that
Yeah.
individually, that's pretty good. But what does that do to your ability to get life insurance if you had not gotten it before you got diagnosed?
It will make it harder, I believe, because you already have a pre-existing condition.
Mm,
Just like somebody that maybe had a heart attack recently, like in the past year, it might be a little bit harder, right? Um, But the thing with COVID, it's not just people surviving the
mm-hmm,
COVID, right? Because maybe they didn't get as sick as other people. It's all these other side effects that might come from it. Like I was reading an article that said people in their 30s and 40s, they were seeing they were getting major strokes, like strokes, right?
mm-hmm.
So that's an issue, right, for life insurance
Right.
because if you had a stroke, that is very hard, especially at a young age, right? When people are older, it's more common to see these types of things, and there are policies out there for people over 50 that have certain medical conditions, right, to make it easier for them because it's understandable that they will have that some type of medical issue, right?
Right.
But when you're in your 30s and 40s and you have some type of thing like a stroke because you had COVID, that makes it a lot harder.
Mm-hmm,
And if you're young, I'm 34. I don't think I'm going to die anytime soon, right? With everything going on, I don't think that.
mm-hmm.
But we have to be financially prepared if something does happen. And even if it's something like a stroke or a heart attack, people can use part of the death benefit now with life insurance. They can use part of that now while they're living to help them pay for stuff.
That's really interesting. Tell me a little bit more about that. You're literally, are you taking like a loan from your life insurance policy?
Yeah,
Or,
so what it is you're accelerating the death benefit now.
mm-hmm,
So based on people's life expectancy and with the heart attack or the stroke or the cancer, it's a different set of things that they can qualify for. Um, let's say you have $100,000 death benefit. What it would do is, in essence, would accelerate part of that 100,000. I can't say it's going to be this amount because, again, each case varies.
mm-hmm,
But it's definitely peace of mind knowing that if I do have some type of critical or chronic illness, I can use part of that death benefit. Okay.
mm-hmm.
Now, it's interesting because I received one of the companies sent an email saying they might be looking at making COVID part of the critical illness type of thing, but that's also stuff that's still being worked out. You
Gotcha.
know,
Gotcha.
it's so recent that it's not something we can look at historically and say, okay, we can start covering that. So,
I gotcha. I gotcha.
mhm.
So, what are some of the things that you're seeing? What are some of the questions that are crossing your desk right now that you can answer for our
Yeah.
watchers?
So a lot of people have questions, especially about that. Like, oh, I lost my insurance through my job. Is my new health insurance going to cover my doctors or I take this medicine, right? So a lot of my job is doing that, is looking at who their doctors are and looking through that to make sure that, the plan they choose would cover them.
Mm-hmm.
um you know so that's definitely a concern for people. A lot of people are very happy with the changes in the life insurance, so you don't need a medical exam because that I don't know why that puts off a lot of people to
Well, I
get the.
think a lot of people, especially men, don't go
Yeah,
to the doctor because they
unfortunately.
don't want to know if something's
Right.
wrong, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So there's this, they're confronted with they have to go, and what if they get told, they've got
Yeah,
terminal
that
something?
something's wrong. Yeah, I notice that often. Yeah, that's a concern. With health insurance, I get people calling me like, "Oh, but I didn't use my health insurance throughout the year. Don't I get some money back?" And I'm like, "No, it's like if you had a car insurance and you didn't have a car accident, yeah, I would have been there for you, but you're not going to get money back, you know.
Right. Right.
So, yeah, definitely, I think more people are concerned about the health insurance and also life insurance. And, what about getting a will and things like that? There are certain companies out there with life insurance that provide as a member benefit free wills that you can get, so that's something good to do, to look into as well. Mhm.
Excellent. Yep. Um, yes, absolutely. Well, I want to thank you very much for all of this information. Do you have any final thoughts for our audience today?
Yeah, I say, like I always advise people, is to make an informed decision. And what I mean by that is don't go based on what you hear on Facebook, on the news. I mean, I know we're on Facebook now and YouTube, but definitely reach out to somebody in your area, wherever you live, and reach out to the companies directly so you can make an informed decision and not, okay, now there's an emergency and I don't know what to do. Okay, so always be prepared. Hmm.
Excellent, excellent advice. Yes, if you're not hearing it from an insurance professional, wherever you're hearing it, take it with a grain of salt and call your company. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Again, thank you so much for your time today, Lorena. I do appreciate it very, very much. We do have this free financial protection review that you're giving away to anyone who reaches out to you. How best can they reach out to you to
Yeah.
to sign up for that?
Awesome. So what that is just a quick review of what you have in place and what you might need some protection on. Um, and so the best way to get that is you can go on my website. It's malmins.com. And there you'll see the link right on top to get that. Mhm.
Awesome. Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you again. And everyone, have a fantastic day. Look forward to the week ahead. Take care.
Thank you.
When you open your energy work makes that recovery progress so much faster. That recovery is possible. You do not have to live as a victim until your last days. You have unbelievable strength, and I know that because you're still here. Do you want to create something completely unrecognizable with your life? I can show you how.